Hello and welcome to Casual Learning. I'm your host, John Bannon. Today I'm going to do a video summary of chapter 14 of my newest book, Superdeterminism Defeats Atheism. You can get my book worldwide on Amazon Kindle. Chapter 14 is entitled, Hell is Real. This video is my refutation of the 12th point of atheistic ideology set forth in chapter 1 of my book, namely, hell is not real. Hell is a place of eternal punishment in the afterlife promised by Jesus for those of us not worthy of an eternal afterlife in heaven. You can find that in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 31 to 46. Jesus described hell as a place of torment where the damned are salted with unquenchable fire. This is at the Gospel of Mark, chapter 9, verses 47 through 49. Jesus remarked that hell was prepared for the devil and his angels. You can find that at the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 41. So obviously, if hell was prepared for Satan and his devilish helpers, then it's a really bad place, and you don't want to go there in the afterlife. Hell is the stick that Jesus uses to convince people to repent and act morally. So the carrot is heaven, or the promise of eternal bliss in the afterlife, and the stick is hell. Hell is basically the opposite of heaven. Of course, no one wants to think that they're going to hell, but for those people who don't want to behave morally as a Christian, then their options are limited to either denying the existence of God or denying the existence of hell, and or both. However, the existence of hell is supported by Dr. Hansen's version of superdeterminism. So Swedish theoretical physicist Dr. Johan Hansen published this proof in 2020 in the peer-reviewed physics periodical entitled Physics Essays, Volume 33, Number 2, June of 2020. The article is entitled Bell's Theorem and Its Tests, Proof that Nature is Superdeterministic, Not Random. So Dr. Hansen proved that our universe is a predetermined static block universe without continuous causation in physics. Now, this is a physics proof, and Dr. Hansen doesn't mention God or hell or philosophy or religion. He's strictly a physicist, and this is a physics proof. But the consequences that you can derive from his proof of our universe without continuous causation in physics includes the existence of hell. So how does that work? Well, hell is certainly a real possibility. God has the power to create our block universe, and so God could create a special other universe called hell. So basically, because we live in a block universe without continuous causation in physics, then one can infer that due to the zero energy universe theory, that our universe must have come from nothing. And since there's no actual causal power in the universe to cause its existence, then the fact that the universe came from nothing means that a God must have created the universe outside of time. And this God has predetermined Christianity as the predominant religion about him. And the primary teacher of Christianity, Jesus, promises us that there is, in fact, a heaven and a hell. So that's how you get from a physics proof, Dr. Hansen's physics proof, to a inference that hell is real. Now, quantum mechanics allows for probability distributions with a very wide range of possible behavior by physical reality. So one can infer from that the physics of hell would allow for the seemingly miraculous, such as your spontaneous appearance uh, in hell after death with your memories of Earth intact. So, if that were to occur in our universe, you'd have to wait longer than the lifetime of the universe for that to happen. But the fact is that under quantum mechanics, such seemingly miraculous things can in fact happen if you wait long enough. Well, hell, all God has to do is, instead of making you wait, he because it's possible under the laws of physics, he just speeds it up so that it happens much quicker than it otherwise would, and so you can have these predetermined miraculous events occur in hell, such as the resurrection of somebody who had lived on Earth but now is in hell in an unconnected, special other universe, but nevertheless with their memories intact of their life in Earth. And though such highly improbable physics, uh, God could nonetheless predetermine them to occur without the usual astronomically long wait period um, in the existence of a special other universe and called hell, and God could also create a series of special other universe hells, so that if the universe has a finite ending, you can spontaneously appear in the next one in the series. And through that, God could refresh hell endlessly so that your life in hell would be endless. Because God endorsed Christianity uh, as evidenced by its predominance among religions about God in our predetermined universe, then it is reasonable to believe in Jesus' promise of the existence of hell. Some claim that the soul is annihilated in hell and that the existence in hell for the damned is not eternal. But Jesus did not mention annihilation in his parable of the rich man and Lazarus in hell. So one would think that Jesus would not have overlooked something as important as annihilation of the soul if that were true. And you can find that parable in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verses 19 to 31. Some claim that everyone goes to heaven in the afterlife. However, Jesus taught that many will go to hell. That's at the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 13 to 14. Obviously, hell does not appear to exist in our universe, either in the earth or someplace else in the universe. So it's fairly clear that hell would have to be a special other universe unconnected to this universe. So you can't travel to hell because it's not in our universe. It would be in an unconnected universe that you couldn't travel to. So you would have to spontaneously appear in hell through special physics. Some may object to hell as an unjust punishment for finite sinning on earth. And as such, God could not be real, righteous, and still damn people to an eternity in hell. However, God has omniscience of all our freely willed decisions in all possible situations and in all possible universes. And God does not have to create any of those universes or situations in order to observe what you would do. He knows already through his omniscience because God knows everything. So God can use this omniscience, this all encompassing knowledge of your moral character, including all possible situations and all possible universes, in order to decide whether you are worthy of heaven or everlasting punishment and damnation in hell. So the fact that you're only capable of finite sinning on earth because you have a finite lifespan, nevertheless, because God knows the whole moral you, the whole being of you, in all possible situations and all possible circumstances, he can righteously judge whether you deserve hell or not, because he's considering more than just the finite sinning on earth. He's judging your moral character overall, your whole being. So that would allow God to have a righteous judgment about whether somebody deserved eternal punishment in hell. So whether you're going to hell is predetermined because block realities like hell are predetermined. They have to be because continuous causation in physics is not real. So, because continuous causation is not real, the future can't be changed by what you do now, which means the future has to already exist, which means it has to be predetermined. So, hell is no exception. So, hell would also have to be predetermined. So, whether you're going to hell or not would have to be predetermined. However, you don't actually know whether you are headed to hell or not. It's one thing to say abstractly that whether you're going to hell or not is predetermined. It's another thing to actually know the predetermined future. You generally can't know the predetermined future. Um, so you should live your life with leading indicators of you not being predetermined to go to hell, such as worshiping God as a Christian and attending weekly mass or church services. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Next time I will give a summary of the last chapter of my book, which is entitled Power is an Illusion. All right, take care.